Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Dave Rand. I'm a land use attorney with the firm Armbruster, Goldsmith & Delvac, and I'm here tonight with the applicant team from NMS Properties, the developer of the proposed project that we'll be discussing at tonight's community meeting at 1430 to 1444 Lincoln Boulevard, and along with John Reed of the Reed Architectural Group, the project architect. So I'm going to start off tonight's presentation with a little overview about the site and some of the development regulations that are pertinent to the entitlement process for the project. And then John Reed will give an architectural presentation, show you some slides of an overview of the design, and I'll close with just a brief overview of the process, where we're at now, which is very early in the process, and the next several steps to come through the course of our project approval. So the location, as I mentioned, is 1430 to 1444 Lincoln Boulevard. The site is a 30,000 square foot assemblage of lots mid-block between Santa Monica Boulevard and Broadway. The project that's being proposed is a mixed-use project with ground floor neighborhood-serving retail uses, about 8,000 square feet or so of retail or potential restaurant uses on the ground floor, with 100 residential housing units above the ground floor. Housing units being a combination of market rate and also an affordable housing component. The project complies with the current Santa Monica zoning ordinance Tier 2 development standards. The city entitlements are based on multiple tiers of developments, each tier granting additional development rights in exchange for community benefits. We are at the Tier 2 level, and by that, for this particular site, we are afforded a 50-foot height limit, which the project is consistent with, along with an FAR, a floor area ratio of 2.25 times the square footage of the lot. And we are consistent with that as well. That totals to about 67,000 square feet of total floor area. With respect to the units in the project, the residential component, I mentioned there are 100 total units. The units comply with the zoning ordinance requirements for larger units with a greater mix of 2 and 3 bedroom. The project only includes 14 studio units. We have 50 one-bedroom housing units. We have 21 two-bedroom units and 15 three-bedrooms. So 15% of the project are those larger three-bedroom sites that are in high demand and highly desired in the city of Santa Monica. For the affordable housing component, there are 8 affordable housing units in the project. Notably, the 8 affordable units will be deed restricted for a 55-year period to the lowest levels of affordability, 30% of the area median income. So in order to qualify to live in one of those highly subsidized units, you have to make 30% or below of the LA County area median income. So they serve the neediest population in the city of Santa Monica. The developer is also contemplating an option to locate the affordable component of this project at an off-site location. So in lieu of providing the units on site, the developer will be proposing an option to include the units at a location that they own at 711 Colorado Boulevard. And if the Santa Monica decision makers choose to select that option, it will result in a significant increase in the number of affordable units above the 8 extremely low units that would be provided on site under the on site option. In addition to affordable housing, the project will include a number of additional important community benefits, namely highly sustainable building design, very rigorous transportation demand management requirements that include unbundled parking, targeted marketing to downtown nearby residents and workers, high and aggressive, what we call average vehicle ridership targets, which is a ratio in terms of the number of employees at the site to the number of cars that are allowed, designed to regulate and encourage people to walk, bike, and use alternate modes of transportation, and a robust number of bicycle parking spaces, in total 177 bicycle parking spaces that are well in excess of the code requirements. So that, I hope, gives you an overview of the basic elements of the project as well as the community benefits that we're excited to provide as part of the development. And to give you a detailed overview of the design of the project is John Reed of Reed Architectural Group, and I'll hand it over to him right now.
Hello, my name is John Reed. I'm here to discuss the design, and we have a number of slides to walk you through the project. Anna, you want to come on up? So the project site is along Lincoln Boulevard between Santa Monica Boulevard and Broadway. This is an overview of 7th Street, Lincoln, Broadway, Santa Monica. Subject site, these are the buildings that will be demolished. This is a view of the proposed project. Looking south, we have combined an element along the south side, an element along the north side, an entry into the project, ground floor retailer restaurant on each side, an entrance to the courtyard accessing the residential, and then we've tied these elements with a very, very brightly colored frame, and then on top of the 5th floor there's a roof garden. This is the view of the project looking north. Retail on the ground floor, access to the residential in the middle. Taking a look at the site plan, this is Lincoln Boulevard. There's a commercial space on both sides. There's a residential lobby, some landscaping. You'll walk into a sort of patio area. There's open space. There's an open space courtyard as you walk in. Then there's open space along both sides of the property. Access is from the alley to the parking level garage. There's a loading space in the alley, and then there's a service corridor that gets you to the commercial for loading. Parking calculation, basically showing we have 291 parking spaces on site. There are 4 levels of parking, all below grade. So these are color diagrams basically showing the different uses of the project. The commercial is shown in the pink. The yellow is the open space at the ground floor, and the orange is the residential lobby. This is a diagram showing the open space at each level. So there's a courtyard at the 2nd floor, a courtyard at the 3rd floor, a small courtyard at the 4th floor, a roof terrace at the 5th floor. Landscaping will be provided along Lincoln Boulevard and along the sides of the property and interior space. Parking is accessed from the alley, so you'll drive in. There'll be a ramp that'll take you down into the garage. There'll be a loading area along the alley, and then there'll be a drop-off zone in the alley. This diagram basically shows the studios, the 1 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, and the 3 bedrooms, and the count of each of the units, and then the location. You can see that the different types of units are spread out through each floor. Then these are each individual floor, the 2nd floor, the 1st floor, the 3rd floor. There's a nice courtyard on the 3rd floor. This courtyard looks down below to the 1st level. This looks to the 2nd level. There's a courtyard that opens up, fronting the units that are on Lincoln. And then there's a really nice roof deck on the 5th floor that overlooks Lincoln Boulevard that creates these 2 wings that separate the building mass from the front. There's a roof plan with solar panels and equipment. And then these are the elevations: retailer restaurant, entrance, a double-story volume when you walk in, the roof deck, this sort of element that pops up with landscaping on the roof deck, the side elevations of the property. This is a section basically showing from Lincoln Boulevard. You'd walk in, there's a 2-story volume, you go into this beautiful courtyard with lush landscaping, then the units face this courtyard, these units will face Lincoln Boulevard, then there's this open space on the 5th level. The parking is 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. This is a cross section showing the retail, the rec room, the lobby, and then the residential wings on both sides. This is a section through the commercial showing the two-story commercial space with open courtyard, open courtyard. Here's another section with the commercial showing courtyards. And that is our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John and Anna. I'll just close with an overview about our process. So this is really the start of the entitlement process on a development agreement project in the city of Santa Monica. The next step in the road is what we call a float-up hearing, a preliminary hearing before the city's Architectural Review Board, where we will obtain some design feedback from the board and incorporate that into the project design. And from there we go to a float up at the City Planning Commission, where we'll also get feedback both on the proposed community benefits as well as the project and the design. From there we go to an official hearing at the City Planning Commission, where the commission will make a formal recommendation to the City Council. And the City Council will then take up the final vote on the development agreement, and that kind of marks the end of the land use process for the project itself and the entitlement. And the last and final stage is a formal final design review hearing by the city's Architectural Review Board. And from then we go into the building permit stage of the project, where we hope to get under completion as quickly as possible. So if there are any questions from the audience, now would be the time. Be happy to answer any questions about the project, the proposed community benefits, city process. Seeing none, we'll call it an easy one. Thank you for coming, and we appreciate the time and look forward to moving on to our Architectural Review Board hearing, which will be held next month on April 4th at City Hall in the city of Santa Monica. Thank you.